Because remember something about Jalen Reagor. It's all illusion with him. There's no context to his play in Philly. There's not one redeeming thing that you could sell that he has done in Philadelphia where you could make someone have a sales pitch to them where they would listen and go, here's a high draft choice. And I mean 1 through 4. Okay, same way. All right. A little bit more on this Andre. Here's something else too on the Dillard stuff and Reagor. Would I be willing to get rid of Reagor? You're not getting, and folks, do me a favor. Do not talk to me any longer about Jalen Reagor in a standalone trade. Unless it's for a lesser player that's on the roster, an unproven player. Okay? Because right now, if you put Jalen Reagor out there, you're only going to get a backup in return or an aged veteran. You're not going to get a first-round starting guy out there. You're not. You're going to have to cover this like they did with the J-Jaw trade. You get someone back who could contribute to your team because you're weak at that position, like safety. That would be something there, okay? And I agree. But Reagor standing alone for a high pick, Jalen Reagor and Andre Dillard, I'll tell you what I would want out of that. If I gave you Jalen Reagor and Andre Dillard, I would demand a 1 and a 2 and a starter. Okay? Jalen Reagor, you'd be lucky to get a 7th rounder. It sounds better when you put a former first rounder next to a guy who's perceived as a starting guy who could get a 1. You're dressing up the trade with that. Because remember something about Jalen Reagor. It's all illusion with him. There's no context to his play in Philly. There's not one redeeming thing that you could sell that he has done in Philadelphia where you could make someone have a sales pitch to them where they would listen and go, here's a high draft choice. And I mean 1 through 4. Shit, you might as well take the first 3 out of that because maybe a 4th down. You're never getting anything more than that. Now, you could dress it up with Dillard, though. Andre Dillard, and you get Reagor off the roster, and you get something in return like they did with J-Jaw. But here lies the problem. Let me say this to you here. So what if, God forbid, not which, I want to make sure because I know how people will take this. Say something, there's an injury to Devontae Smith and he's out. You think you're capable of replacing that talent with Quez Watkins and Zach Pascal. Your front 2 guys are one of the best duos in the league. A.J. Brown and Quez Watkins or A.J. Brown and Zach Pascal, you're the Colts. You're Michael Pittman and a dude. Quez, potential again. So you're trading depth away. Now, I've said this, and I'll say it again. I think this Kane kid has outplayed him. But do you feel comfortable giving – here's what it comes down to for Howie when it comes to Jalen Reagor in these next couple days here on figuring out if he's one of the 53 guys. You feel comfortable giving Dean that roster spot? Or do you feel comfortable more so putting Dean on the practice squad, giving Reagor the opportunity, and if we get through the season and we start seeing great health and people are playing great, maybe you do something with Reagor and you trade him, you do something closer to the trading deadline, then you elevate Kane from the practice squad. And that's how you kind of keep him there and you bring him up and you get to eat your cake and eat it. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to worry about depth here. Look at the Cowboy wide receiver issues. I guarantee you this. If the Eagles cut Jalen Reagor, I think the Cowboys would pick him up. Wouldn't you? Inside the division, they could tell you what's going on in the building, or he would. He'd have an ass against the Eagles. There's no question. I think either the Giants, who are also decimated at wideout, I think this is one of the – hey, Xander, right? I think this is one of the main reasons that Jalen Reagor's still on the roster too. is because if you're the Giants or the Dallas Cowboys, if he's on the waiver wire, former number one, I'm going to bring his ass in. What I have right now, I got Tony Pollard lining up in the slot position right now because I'm so thin at wideout. I would totally bring him in. I would totally sign him. For the year that he has left on his deal, too, I'd get him at a deal. I'd make a claim for him, actually. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Plus, I get the guy on my team, could talk to me about what the Eagles are doing. You keep him for that week also. How about the Giants? The Giants could totally use that guy. Totally use that guy. Hell, in some aspects, Packers could maybe use him. I do. A guy like Allen draws attention by more people to the sport than 90% of the players. Jesse says that the Eagles missed out on Honey Badger. Problem with Honey Badger, dude, are you really going to pay that money for a safety? Ask the Seahawks how that thing worked out with Adams. Are you going to – the reason Russell Wilson is no longer a Seattle Seahawk is because of that Jamal Adams deal that they made with the Jets, and they lost all them ones. No way, man. No way. For a safety? I'm not spending – that's another one of those positions that I'm not spending a shitload of money on. You see, do you notice where Howie is, like really where he really kind of is penny pinching? That safety position, he ain't paying for that. He ain't paying for linebackers. He ain't paying for that. It shocks me that they got the kind of money invested in 2 defensive tackles. Got $30 million in 2 DTs. That's a lot of dough, dude. 85 goes, Dan, explain how a guy like Dillard is worth the first when we took a back seat to a guy who never played football. Also, what's a backup in the league? Why would he get a first rounder? Well, one, because of the value of the position. And secondly, Jordan Milada is in the same boat as Larry Allen. Larry Allen was a 12th round draft choice by the Dallas Cowboys. Hell, the Eagles missed him 11 times too. You know, everyone will go, well, the Cowboys drafted him in the 12th. Well, the Eagles missed him 12 times. You didn't see that? That he was a great player? No one did. Larry Allen is probably in the conversation as the greatest O-lineman of all time. He was a 12th round pick. 12th. Eagles missed him 12 times. 31 other teams missed him 12 times. Oh, but you didn't see it. Right? You didn't see it. Jordan Milada is a guy that couldn't put a helmet on 3 years ago. I mean, he's a spectacular talent. The guy has the talent maybe of even like athleticism of like Shaquille O'Neal. 6'8", can run, 350 pounds, could be 380 if he wanted to be. Guy's a freak show, man. A freak show. Simona State, thank you very much, William. I thought it was Humboldt County. Oh, yes. Well, Simona's in Humboldt County. Yeah. Yeah, he'll Humboldt. Yeah, and Jeff Stoutland too, Jeremiah. That's correct too, man. Okay? Reagor isn't lighting it up here, so cut him. Hey, Les, why not work the phones until the 23rd hour? That's what Howie's doing. And that's a good thing. He's not just surrendering like some organizations would. He's trying to maximize and get something for the kid. I agree with Xander yesterday. You know, at least Howie turned something into something. Draft choices that, who knows? The next Jordan Milada could be sitting there. You have no idea, right? Or look at Hollis Thomas. Guy played 12 plus years, wasn't drafted, and was a centerpiece on the Eagle defensive line for a decade. You never know what you have before you put the roster together. Once you have all those picks and then you see it, to get them in mini camps, OTAs, Jesus criminy. What Hollis did was unreal. Undrafted, 12 years, doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Like what Hollis Thomas did is less than 1% of the 1%ers. Like first rounders, look at Jalen Reagor. He gets a lifeline of 3 years to make a team. When you're undrafted, you get 3 minutes to make a team, let alone make a team for 12 years. Unreal. Unprecedented when you see that. And financially rewarding for your team, that you didn't have to put all that free agent money into the guy, or you didn't have to put signing bonus money into him. That's how you build things, is building it with late round. Jimmy Johnson will tell you this all the time, how he built the Cowboys. Dude, it was the 3s, 4s, and 5s and 6s, and the guys in the 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s that built the centerpieces of the team. When Jimmy took over the Dallas Cowboys and I had that roster, Mark Tunay, Nate, Mark Tunay, Nate, Gogan were already there. They were already there. They added Stebnowski. They added Ray Donaldson. They added Eric Williams. Then they turned around and added a guy like Larry Allen. They gave great coaching, and they were able to add pieces. They already had the Tony Tolberts of the world. Tony Tolbert was a third-round draft choice. He played 10 years in Dallas. Played 10 years. Eugene Lockhart played forever in Dallas. That's how you build your team. That's how you know some people don't know football by some of these take sales. It's educating of people. Well, everyone thinks it's because you got to look at the first and second rounders or where you're drafted. You see, that's kind of a little bit what Howie's mentality is. Because where you're drafted, that gives you like sort of status in the building. Not with me, it doesn't. Okay? If I'm quicker to move, watch this. I'm quicker to move off a first rounder than I am a free agent. Because the free agent can help my cap. But you see, I just got through talking to you about ego with John Gruden. Howie's got the same ego as John Gruden does. Or Derek Barnett and Jalen Reagor would not be on your team. That's John Gruden ego. That's John Gruden ego right there. Because you know in your heart, guy can't play. But what you're doing is, at the expense of having a roster, you're trying to make a deal to get something for a mistake, instead of cutting loose of your mistake right away and moving on from it. Okay. That's John Gruden stuff. That's Howie Roseman's Achilles heel. He's got an ego. His ego gets in his way, and his egos are all over the roster. Jalen Reagor, Derek Barnett. Pick a guy. Some of them safeties, right? Hour 2. Please hit the like button. Some of the sports bettors around the country, I want to tell you what they're saying about your Eagles, too. A little more on Jonathan Gannon, some NFL news, too. We'll do that. Don't forget Hollis Thomas in hour number 3 at 5:30 Eastern Time. Keep it right here on the National Football Show.